the lives of those persons who have impacted our society. Lord, continue your hands upon them. There might have been some who have gone on. We pray that their families will be blessed in the same measure. Lord, we thank you, God, for allowing us this afternoon to be here. And again, let it be done well as we give you thanks and we give you praise. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen. General, Sir Ron Williams, leader of the opposition in our kingdom, members of the Senate, members of the clergy, ministers of the gospel, and the government ministers, special guests, special honorees, members, friends, and supporters of the Swetes community. Members of the Swetes Men for Life. Teacher chapter and also the diaspora. Visiting friends from near and far. We extend greetings and welcome to you this afternoon as we celebrate this momentous occasion. As we etch in history today is a day that we've never had before. We honor the legacy of persons who
Are we on?
this day
All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Antigua Parish League Network as we bring you live coverage of the Swetes reunion labeled Swetes Men for Life, unity for our community. Take a break as we prepare for our national anthem. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you had it, the national anthem, as we lead off the Sweets Men for Life Unity. So, without further ado, let me introduce my esteemed colleagues who will be joining me today and say good afternoon to Frankai. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. Good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm doing good. And good afternoon, Clement. How are you doing, Clement Joseph?
I'm doing good. I feel privileged to be invited to this function here, community of sweets, where my hero, Sir Curtly Ambrose, is from. I had a brief conversation with him, and I intend to have a further conversation with him.
Okay, good.
All right, let's hear. It looks like Mr. Basil Carl Hillhouse will be speaking in reference to the history of the wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to bring you coverage here, the Swetes Men for Life community group and their Wall of Fame unveiling ceremony, and they are going to be inducting quite a few members of the Sweets community into their Wall of Fame. We're presently having an address by Mr. Basil Carl Hillhouse. He's giving a history of the wall. We're having some audio difficulties here, though we cannot pick up all that he's saying. Gentlemen, I'm getting back to Clement. Clement, you are on Cloud9 having met your, well, you said your hero,
Yes,
one of your heroes.
one of my heroes. Curtly Ambrose. I witnessed his debut in Antigua in 1987 versus Pakistan. His debut was actually in Jamaica. That one day versus Pakistan. He took, I think, something like 4 for 23 was man of the match.
Okay.
And he came down to Antigua. And his first wicket, my brother and I were visiting for the match. And we were in the double-decker stand. And his first wicket, we got out of the double-decker stand and went to grounds because we were sure that the next time he takes a wicket, that stand was going to collapse. And Chicky Hi-Fi blasted me once, iron banned by burning flames. And we realized that's not where we belong. So we went to the grounds. That was our introduction to Curtly.
Curtly. So Curtly is, of course, one of many great sportsmen who have come out of Sweets Village or the surrounding areas. Today, of course, we are here not only to honor sportsmen, but educationalists, businessmen, clergy, field of education, and politics. As we continue to listen to Mr. Basil Hillhouse.
And as you said, there's a very impressive list of inductees. Mr. Dan Cornelius, April 15, 1906 to 2007. As I call the names, you will tell me who they were and their contributions to the community of Sweets.
Okay, I will have to ask John to help me there because I'm not familiar with a lot of these persons.
Dan Cornelius?
Yes, Clement, yes, myself also not familiar with quite a lot, especially the elderly ones. So we will definitely have to get someone from the Sweets community to help us out here. Just to tell our viewers, we are trying to, our technicians are working on getting the feed from the podium at the moment. So we're working on that, Clement, to get the feed so our viewers can listen in to the remarks of the persons on the stage. But Clement, while they do that, we could just speak a little bit about, let's speak about who we know, maybe.
So let's go to sports personnel.
Okay, well, Clement, you want to start at the sports? Let's get over to the sports. And none other than?
Sir Kirtley, Elkan, Lenoir, Ambers.
KCN. Well, what can you say about Sir Kirtley? Sir Kirtley
He's
has...
an introduction to the wider world.
But, you know, you have the biography there on Sir Kirtley. I think just below there we can look at some of his...
So I just want to thank everyone who's here that was going to be nominated for being here. He met a big example. You guys did a big example to us. We want to be an example in the next generation that comes here. We want to thank you. Appreciate everyone. And I want to say...
Yeah, if you to just bear with us a minute, listeners and viewers. They're trying to set up an audio feed here to facilitate us here on our broadcast of the proceeding.
Okay, so that was Mr. Basil Carligal House, and he basically was given an overview of the conceptualization of this program or this.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay.
I'm going to invite us to stand once again as we have a moment of silence for our centenarians. And today, as we gather in the presence of the Lord under the open sky, our national anthem encourages us to raise the standard and raise it boldly. And this is what we are endeavoring to do this afternoon as we answer now to duty's call to the service of our country, as we do that here in the village of Swetes this afternoon. And so this time we're going to have a moment silence for our centenarians, Mr. Dan Cornelius, Mrs. Ifina Haywood, Miss Miriam Emmy Charles, and Miss Grace Ann Michael. Moment of silence. Loving Lord, we thank you for the legacy these your servants would have left for us. And we pray that they continue to rest in peace and may they rise in glory to your honor. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. At this time, we're going to invite O.J. Steele to come and share. You may be seated.
Good afternoon. Protocols already established. Good afternoon, my Sweetonians. It's a distinct honor for me to be standing here, that the Swetes Men of life see it fit for me to be sitting with all these stalwarts of our village. It's a great honor. I want to say thank you guys to the president. I'm going to call Mr. Carly House. Could you please come back up here? Mr. Jerry Thomas, Mr. Sammy, Sammy Samuel, Ben Thomas, and Olson Thomas. Could you guys keep going? They have adopted me into the Swetes Men for Life. You all can see my shirt. So, but I'm originally, there's another group called Swetes Reunion Committee, Inc., New York. And we're going to go into full partnership with these guys. And I have a presentation I want to make here. Could you please open this, one of you guys, for me? There's something I want to read. You know, we've been sending stuff for our community, and we didn't really have a particular person or group. So when I heard about the Swetes Men for Life and they called me, I have regular conversation with them. So I said, okay, that's a good idea, because now when we are sending stuff for our community, there's a base. So dear Swetes Men for Life, it is an honor to support the impactful work that you're doing in the community. Our commitment to mentorship, empowerment, and positive change is both inspiring and necessary. We believe in your mission and hope this contribution helps you continue to uplift this and strengthen the lives you touch. With gratitude and respect, Swetes Reunion Committee. There's a check inside here. I wouldn't tell you all the amount, but I would like everybody who can make a contribution, because what they are doing is setting an example, and we need to fall in line. So on behalf of the Swetes Reunion Committee, the board president, both you could hold it, and then you could pass it on to the treasurer. And I don't know how you want to do it, but there's something in there that's going to further whatever you're doing. You know? Every little bit helps, but it's not a little bit, it's a good bit. That's all I'm going to say, it's a good bit. And throughout the week, you know, there's stuff going on, so I just want to say thank you guys to incorporate me into the Swetes Men for Life, and we have a long life partnership pending. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Okay, thank you.
The partnership that has just commenced between some of the guys from Swetes in the diaspora with the Swetes Men for Life. So a good foundation being set here.
Yes, and that is the type of support that local community needs from the
1-800.
Must be a really proud community when you get the Governor General is from your community, yeah?
Yes.
Really,
Cannot get better than
you
that.
can't get better than that, I'll tell you. So we're here at the Swetes, in Swetes Village. Looks like a little extension of the Swetes Clinic behind of us here. Alright,
So at this time, we're going to be recognizing a few of our honorable mentions who are here with us today. We're going to first call on Mr. Cartwright Pickett to receive honors from the Swetes Men for Life Wall of Fame inductee. Mr. Cartwright Pickett.
Yeah, Mr. Pickett, I know him from the cricketing fields. Been a stalwart on the field of play, real ambassador for cricket. I know for sure, Cartwright.
So you would have come up against Mr.
The next honorary
I actually played
honorary mention
this
is
softball
Mr.
game.
Fitzmore Hillhouse. Mr. Fitzmore Hillhouse. Okay, if he's not here, let's have a family member, a relative, coming forward to receive this honor.
Is it the sports?
Mr.
It's Cartwright, isn't it sports? There's one that could be.
Mr. Oswald Steele.
So I guess a few of the awardees are being recognized with some certificates there. Seems to be Mr. Oswald Steele that was just called there a while ago.
So these are people who would have starred, if I can put it that way, for the Swetes cricket team. Yeah.
Mr. Kenneth Brown.
Not well.
And if he's not present, can we have a family member, relative,
Because the name
coming forward to receive this, his honor?
Foster Lewis, for example, are names that are well known to me in cricket without necessarily making it to the national team.
Yes, well, it does says in the brochure here, honorable mention for
Yes.
sports. So I guess they would have really, while they may not have made it to the highest level, but they would have really contributed quite significantly to sports.
And Mr. Foster Lewis. Foster Lewis.
I remember this name.
Foster
Okay.
is Enoch Lewis, Ed Lewis,
They all
family. I
family.
think.
We have a relative coming forward to collect. All right, moving right along. At this time, we're going to call on His Excellency,
I think one of the best
the Governor General,
to have made it to the West
and he will
Indies.
come at this
Not
time
to have made it, he was a very
to
good batsman.
make his presentation. Before he comes,
Not the name.
I'm going to just read
He
his
was from the Freeman
bio, and after which he will come and make his presentation and also receive. Sir Honorable Dr. Rodney Erie Lawrence Williams. Politics. Sir Rodney Lawrence Williams, GCMG, KGN, KSTJ, born on the 2nd of November 1947, is an Antiguan former politician who is the current and 4th Governor General of Antigua and Barbuda, having previously served as Minister of Education, Culture and Technology, and as a Member of Parliament until 2004. Rodney is the son of Ernest Emmanuel Williams, the former Antigua Labour Party parliamentary representative for the St. Paul's constituency, and Irene B. Williams, a professional educator in Antigua and Barbuda. Williams attended the Antigua Grammar School in St. John's. Upon graduating, he taught at his alma mater for a year. He then studied medicine at the University of the West Indies, Mona, where he received his MBBS degree in medicine and surgery in 1976. From 1978, after completing his internship at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Barbados, he pursued his private medical practice in Antigua and Barbuda. Rodney entered politics in 1984 as a member of parliament for the St. Paul's constituency, which had been previously represented by his father. Between 1992 and 2004, he served in the cabinet as a minister holding various or jointly the portfolios of education, culture, technology, economic development, tourism, and environment. He represented St. Paul up to 2004 when he lost his seat in the 2004 general election, when his Antigua Labour Party lost to the United Progressive Party. After the Antigua Labour Party's victory at the 1994 general elections, Prime Minister Lester Bird appointed Williams as Minister of Education, Culture and Technology. He would retain this post, until the end of his political career in 2004. Williams' most controversial decision while being Minister of Education was his decision to introduce to Parliament the Board of Education Act, which introduced the education levy. The role of this statutory body was to provide finances for the stationery and physical supplies needed by public schools across the country. When the bill was first tabled in the House of Representatives, opposition forces marched in the high streets of St. John's, the capital city. Rodney was sworn into office on the 14th of August 2014 as the 4th Governor General of Antigua and Barbuda. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Sir Honorable Dr. Rodney Williams.
I don't know why it's referred to as controversial. I'm sure it's still in force today. After many changes and would have
The education levy.
benefit.
Yes, it is.
Probably Charlie wrote that.
Well, Clement, you know, normally once the bills come in,
Thank you very much.
the opposition party, they generally would oppose. And
Thank you very much, Brother Mark. And let me adopt the protocol that is bestowed on the Governor General by saying good afternoon all rather than calling names. And to thank Brother Mark for talking about the education levy, because that is dear to my heart. And I remember very well what caused me to speak to the Honorable Lester Bird to introduce the education levy was I used to listen to the radio, and I heard mothers complaining that their children did not have any chairs to sit on, did not have any desks to sit behind, and they didn't have textbooks. And it bothered me. And sometimes in those days we are inclined to call people dunce. But it's not that they were dunce. It was because they did not have the material. And so I realized too that the treasury was stretched and there was no more money to come out of it. So I went to the Honorable Lester Bird and said, Mr. Prime Minister, I cannot be the Minister of Education hearing parents complain of their children not having the basic requirements for education and not do something about it. So I'm suggesting that we introduce an education levy. And he said, Rodney, what's that? Another tax again? I said, no, Prime Minister, it's a levy. And I pestered him and said, all right then, let's go after it. But of course, when he decided to go after it, there was a lot of disagreement in the country by some people. And I think many people were torn because I was the doctor for so many people, and we were good friends. And so mothers used to meet me and say, Dr. Williams, you think it's fair? Me and 100 children and them tell me must pay education levy. I said, well, I understand your position, but listen, you have nephews, you have nieces, you have cousins, and I'm saying that we want them to be the best that they can be and to rise to the top of the economic sector of the country. If we don't educate them, then we're going to bring in people who will make them second-class citizens, and the people will have the top jobs and they'll be telling us what to do. And so that is my response to that. And then some of them sort of agreed, and they said, well, how long this is going to be for? I said, well, 3 years. Of course, I knew once you started, you can't stop it. Well, sometimes that's what leadership is about. You have to let people understand where you are, and we started it, and believe you me, I think it was. I remember the first thing that happened. The administration block at the secondary school at Clare Hall was burnt down, and within 2 weeks, because of the education levy, we were able to put it back up. And it served us so well that I remember about 2-3 years after that, many people used to meet me and say, Dr. Williams, may I have to apologize to you, because I'm one of them that demonstrate against the levy. But let me tell you, it's a good thing you did for us. So I said to them, I am not saying that I'm a good leader, but a good leader is one who is able to take you successfully across a path you have never traveled before. And I say, I took you successfully across the education levy path. However, coming back to where we are today, I must say it is truly an honor for me to stand here today in the heart of Swetes Village, where my story began. It is not just the place of my birth, but it is the foundation of my life, the community that shaped my values, and the source of my deepest memories and some of my fondest memories as well. I grew up here in this village with our beloved parents and my siblings, surrounded by neighbors who felt like extended family. And I attended the Swetes Government Primary School right here in this village in my early years. And I'm happy that this school has been renamed Irene B. Williams Secondary School after our mother, who served as the principal of that school for decades. It was here where dedicated teachers instilled in me the discipline, the curiosity, and the determination that guided me throughout my journey, and to whom I remain extremely grateful. From these humble beginnings, I pursued my calling in medicine, becoming a physician and caring for the sick, something I continue to do even to today. I remember with respect Dr. Charles Locker, who served as the district medical officer right in this building here. And I used to come to see him from time to time. And I learned a lot from him. And I want to tell you today, he contributed financially to my becoming a medical doctor. And to him, I owe a debt of gratitude. I remember as a little boy, I used to like the yard. I like fowls, I like goats, and so on. And I had these hens in the yard, and one of them, I think we had about 10 chickens. And so one day, now it was raining, and I was watching, and all the chickens couldn't fit under the wing. And so I went now, and I was pushing the chicken under the wing. And the fowl picked me on my hand, man, and ruptured a blood vessel. And I ran, and my father brought me up to Dr. Locker, and he sorted me out. But to say that my memories are not of my own journey. I must say also that I, in turn, have assisted with no less than 5 young Antiguans and Barbudans to becoming doctors, but they shall remain nameless this afternoon. My path also led me to serve as the parliamentary representative for St. Paul's for 20 years, working to improve the lives of people who had nurtured me, and as well as the next generation of community members. But my memories of my journey are not only about my journey, but it's also about our parents, whose lives and service continue to inspire me. Our mother, Irene B. Williams, was in many ways the wife, the teacher, the mayor. I call her the mayor of Swetes. She took a special interest in the well-being and development of young girls through a range of interventions. She established a girls' choir, and I remember sometimes the girls used to come to our home. And one night, when they came to practice, they couldn't hold a note, not for anything at all. And my mother said, all I go home, I make man suck out her voice. She said they were back at home till the next time round. She also taught home economics and affordable nutrition. In addition, she was head of the Women's Fellowship in the Moravian Church. And another thing I remember very well, you could not walk in front of her with your shirt outside your trousers. You see, where we live going down on the main road, like on a Sunday afternoon, me and my mother will be looking over the banister there. And I see fellas come down, some of them have their shirt out the trousers, and they come behind the bread and cheese to see if she's there. And once or twice, I see them, and they run back up, and you see them put the shirt in the trousers, boy. Good afternoon, teacher. But those were different days to what we have now. And she was a mother who was very warm, and leadership touched everyone she met. For instance, she provided food for the buildings during the building of the Cana Moravian Church, this Moravian church right here. I remember she used to bring food for them. And she listened to persons with their problems. Sometimes it was about child support, and some other times it was about problematic relationships. She ensured that every child in the village went to school. Indeed, I used to accompany her to some of these family homes when the children did not come to school. And sometimes she would send me to crawl under the bed to pick up to get the students out so that they'll come to school. And I remember her telling them, you don't know where you will end up, but you're going to need this education in your head if you want to get anywhere in life. And our father, Ernest Emmanuel Williams, served as the parliamentary representative for St. Paul's for almost 40 years, dedicating his life to the service of this constituency and the advancement of our nation. And he served as Minister of Public Works and Communications. And in that capacity, he formed the Swetes Development Committee, inclusive of persons like Rufus Lewis, Walter Spencer, Herman Green, and others, I remember. And that committee attended to the developmental needs of Swetes, such as the roads, the water, the electricity supply for the community. And they supported the village infrastructure and the advancement of this community. It is because of the example set by our parents, my siblings, and the enduring spirit of Swetes that I have been able to serve in various ministries of government, as you heard earlier, in sports, in culture, in environment, in economic development, and tourism, to name a few. And it is interesting to note that the name Swetes is derived from a plantation owner. How many of you knew that? Yeah. That's right, Captain Maine Swetes, spelled S-W-E-T-E-S, in the 1700s. This morning I called Max Hurst, you know, he's the big historian, and he told me that it was a productive region because this area, the area of Swetes in those days, benefited from a plentiful rainfall. And in the middle 1840s, the then owner marked off land to be sold to local laborers, which supported the development of the village. Today, as we unveil this wall of fame, I am reminded of the story of Swetes, which should be viewed as a story of a community of potential and a story of resilience. Going forward, Swetes can be what we want it to be if we invest in it as our parents' contribution has shown. I want this afternoon to commend the organizers, Hill House, Samuel, the Thomases, and all you boys from America who hail from Swetes for this initiative in recognizing the members of our community. May we continue to honor our past, celebrate our present, and inspire the generations to come. Thank you very much.
Full from the Governor General laying out his foundation from the youth to his present. But he didn't really
Your Excellency the Governor,
general days.
on behalf of the Swetes Men for Life, we'd like to present you with this certificate.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Blessings.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have to confess, John and Clement, I didn't know that Irene B. Williams was his mother. So I'm learning something today.
I got wind of that when they renamed the school
When did-
after her. That's when I learned
So Gigi, on behalf of the Swetes Men for Life, we present this certificate posthumously for Honorable Ernest Williams, your dad.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They're honoring me posthumously. 40 years. Yes.
between them they did about 3 scores. Well,
Your Excellency, you're taking all the honors.
Yes.
This one we present to you on behalf of your mother, Mrs. Irene B. Williams, educator.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Anna. You're welcome. Yeah. As we continue, Charles T. Samuel. December 27, 1938, Charles Theophilus Samuel was born to Hezekiah Samuel Sweets and Gregoriana Williams Liberta. He was raised in the village of Sweets in an area known as Aaron's Farm and completed his primary education at the Sweets Government School before moving to the All Saints Secondary School. On completing school, Samuel had his sights set on becoming a surveyor and in turn briefly in the Public Works Department as a surveyor trainee, but was encouraged to proceed on a much different path. At the age of 19, he began his career as an education as a teacher at the Sweets Government School. Shortly after, he got married and started his family. By the time he was about the age of 25, he was appointed principal of the John Hughes Primary School, 1965. In 1967, after being awarded a scholarship by the Mill Reef Club, he relocated his family to Barbados, where he pursued a bachelor's degree in natural science, majoring in physics at the University of West Indies, Caville campus. Upon graduating and returning to Antigua in 1972, Samuel returned to teaching as a science teacher at the Princess Margaret School. After 1 year, he was promoted to principal of the Jennings Secondary School, where he served until 1975, when he resigned to pursue his political aspiration. He also served as president of the Antigua and Barbuda Union of Teachers from 1974 to 76. In 1971, the PLM was successful in winning the general election. However, Sterling, who was not granted a ministerial appointed, retaliated by crossing the floor and joining the Antigua Labour Party. As a result, the PLM had to make a fresh candidate selection for the area for the next general election, and Samuel became their choice. In his first outing on the PLM ticket in 1976, Samuel successfully won his seat. He would continue to maintain this seat as a stronghold, first as PLM candidate and then as United Progressive Party, UPP candidate, except for 1984 when he ran independently and lost to ALP candidate Eustace Cochrane by 50 votes. Samuel sat out the 1989 election but returned as a candidate in 1994 under the UPP's umbrella. In 2004, the UPP was successful at the polls and formed the new government. Samuel was appointed as Minister of Agriculture, Lands and Environment, Marine Resources and Food Production, which connected with a long-time passion of his. As a child, he had been exposed to farming and rearing animals by his father, and he continued this practice into his adult life. His experience in the field positioned him to be an ideal advocate. He also served in the 2000 UPP administration under the Prime Minister Honorable Baldwin Spencer. In January 2008, while still a sitting member of Parliament, Samuel was found dead. He was laid to rest during a state funeral on February 19, 2008. At the time of his death, he was one of two remaining members of Parliament who were present at the inaugural sitting of 1981 Parliamentary Session Independence. C.T. Samuel. Could somebody from the family come forward, please? Where's the
was a bit stunned. I'm learning something also today. So in 1971, under the Labour Party's, what did it say? PLM.
No.
Yeah, so we've been crossing floor from everyone. We get so excited when these things happen now, but
his wife accepting the honor. Yeah. She of course is listed further down as an honoree under education.
yes, I remember that's his name. Yes, most definitely.
All right, we're going to skip over to sports, where we recognize our icon, as he has another engagement as well. Sir Kirtley Elcon Linwall Ambrose KNC. Ambrose, born September 21st, 1963, hailed from Swetes Village, Antigua, widely known as one of the greatest fast bowlers of all time. He took 405 test wickets at an average of 20.99 and topped the ICC player rankings for much of his career to be rated the best bowler in the world. His great height, he is 6 feet 7 inches, 2.01 meters tall, allowed him to make the ball bounce unusually high after he delivered it. Allied to this, pace and accuracy. It made him a very difficult bowler for batsmen to face. A man of few words during his career, he was notoriously reluctant to speak to journalists. He was chosen as one of the Wisden Cricketers of the Year in 1992. After he retired, he was entered into the International Cricket Council Hall of Fame and selected as one of the West Indies all-time 9 by a panel of experts. Born in Swetes, Antigua, Ambrose came to cricket at a relatively late age, having preferred basketball in his youth, but quickly made an impression as a fast bowler. Progressing through regional and national teams, he was first chosen for West Indies in 1988. He was almost immediately successful and remained in the team until his retirement in 2000. On many occasions, his bowling spells were responsible for winning matches for the West Indies, which seemed lost in association with Courtney Walsh. Against Australia in 1993, he bowled one of the greatest bowling spells of all time when he took 7 wickets while conceding a single run, hence making figures of 7-1 for the first spell of the match. Similarly, in 1994, he was largely responsible for bowling England out for 46 runs, taking 6 wickets for 24 runs. He is regarded as one of the greatest match-winning bowlers of all time. Ambrose's bowling method relied on accuracy and conceding few runs. Several of his best performances came when he took wickets in quick succession to devastate the opposition. He was particularly successful against leading batsmen from 1995. Ambrose was increasingly affected by injury, and several times critics claimed that he was no longer effective. However, he continued to take wickets regularly up to his retirement. Although he was sometimes less effective in the early matches of a series, in his final years, the West Indies team was in decline and often relied heavily on Ambrose and Walsh. Both men often bowled with little support from the other bowlers. Following his retirement, Ambrose has pursued a career in music as the bass guitarist in a reggae band. We now call on Sir Curtly Ambrose to receive his honor.
Go Clement. Yeah, but a real giant of a man in the field. There's not much words, they're short for words even to describe the goods. Really carried the West Indies attack on his shoulders for quite a bit. So not enough can be said about this great.
Telling you very much. Critics. Who are these critics? Are these the people who follow the game? Say that Ambrose was less effective? So Ambrose went on top. Yes.
Look, even in a point in Ambrose's career, I heard a talk, people were saying, look, sometimes he wasn't getting the wicket, but because of his tightness, his economy, they tried other things against the other bowlers, and so, while sometimes he weren't taking the wickets, he was piling the pressure from the other end.
Yeah. And true to form, he did not say a word. He left the stage without even saying anything, but again, that is Ambrose.
Sir Curtly.
But guys, I really enjoy this function. I love to see when persons are given their flowers, especially when they are alive.
Yes.
Too often we wait until somebody goes down and then we want to say the most. But it's good to see that all these awardees, the Governor Generals, Kirkley, Lewis, I see Cartwright Jarvis there. I said Miriam Samuel, Cartwright. It's the ordinary.
Mr. Edward Alexton Lewis. Born 25th October 1959, is a former cricketer who hails from the village of Swetes. He proudly represented Swetes, Antigua Parish League, Civil Farm Cricket Club, Antigua national team. He played for the United States of America national cricket team from 1991 to 1997. Prior to migrating to the United States, Ed, as he's affectionately known, also played for the Leeward Islands in West Indies domestic cricket. And I will never forget that 140 something in Barbados. 137. Okay, thank you, OJ. Born and raised in the little-known village of Swetes to parents Rufus and Jerome Lewis, he was one of 8 siblings, including his elder brother Enoch, to represent the village with distinction in the sport. He was a self-confident, fearsome attacking left-handed opener and orthodox slow left-arm spinner who was known to intimidate opposition bowlers with his bravado, which to the delight of Swetes fans he often defended with his brilliant on-field performances. The highlight of his career was his batting performance in Barbados on debut for the Leeward Islands when he scored a stroke-filled, magnificent, and I have the correct score here now, 145, not out against that team, which included regional and international players. And they didn't play him after that. Even with that type of inspirational performance, Ed was provided with limited opportunities to represent the Leeward Islands at the first-class level. And so he migrated to the United States. While there, he started another cricket journey, which saw him represent the USA in ICC qualifiers against Malaysia and Kenya. Away from cricket, Ed established a career as a professional semi-truck driver for 21 years and counting. During this period, he operated his own trucking company. Ed wishes to express his gratitude for being recognized by the group for his contribution to the community of Swetes, and wishes to assure his fellow villagers of his commitment and love for the village. Further, he is extremely proud to be known as a sweet man for life. Edward Alexton Lewis.
Remember his name because he used to work with Richie Richardson.
Yes.
They would warn you they're not brothers, but the Richards.
He was a very elegant batsman.
He was.
And a very good footballer as well.
Okay.
Played for the national team.
Ed?
Evie.
Yes. Ed, when we were doing a show, Ed was telling LD, I hit you all over the park.
Continue with sports.
LD told him, I will bite your head.
Maurice Hope. Hope born December 6, 1951, and hails from the village of Swetes, Antigua. He was a junior middleweight boxing champion who represented Great Britain in 1972 Summer Olympics in Munich, West Germany. Hope made his professional debut on 18th of June 1973, defeating John Smith by decision in 8 rounds at Nottingham. On Hope's second fight, he held on 25th September of that year. He scored his first knockout win, a victory in 3 rounds over Len Gibbs in Showick, Hopetown. Hope won his first 4 professional fights. On 21st November, he suffered his first defeat, being beaten by Mickey Flynn over 8 rounds by decision. After that loss, Hope went on to win 5 fights in a row, 4 by knockouts, before winning his first regional belt, when he beat Larry Paul, 5th of November 1974, by knockout in round 8 of a 15-round bout at Wolverhampton to win the British junior middleweight title. Hope then won 3 more fights, including a 4-round knockout of Don Cobbs on the 11th of February 1975 at Royal Albert Hall, which was referred by legendary referee Harry Gibbs, who also oversees the refereeing of the Wilfredo Gomez Carlos Zaret bout, among many other famous fights. After these 3 wins, Hope went up in weight to fight for the vacant British middleweight title, vacated by Kevin Finnegan, who in turn lost 4 times to Alan Minter. On 10 June, Hope was defeated by knockout for the first time, losing to Bonnie Sterling in 8th round for that regional title. Having won 3 regional titles, Hope ranked among the top junior middleweight challengers by the WBC, and so he obtained his first world title try on 15th of March 1977 against the WBC world champion Edgar Dage in Berlin, Germany. After 15 rounds, the fight was declared a draw. On 25th of September, he defeated the WBC world title for the first time, knocking out Mike Baker in the 7th round at London. His second defeat on 12 June 1980 was a rematch with Matoli. This time they fought in London, and Hope repeated his previous win, but with an 11th round technical knockout instead. On November 26, he defended his crown against the well-known Argentinian contender Carlos Herrera, not to be confused with the Argentine boxer of the same name who was born in 1983 in London, winning the 15-round decision. Hope went to Las Vegas for his next defense, which also turned out to be his first and ultimate last fight in the United States. He planned to marry his girlfriend while in Las Vegas on 23rd of May 1981 at the Caesars Palace. Hope lost the World Junior Middleweight title to Wilfred Benitez, suffering a 12-round knockout that later made television sports show highlights. While Benitez became the first Latin American to win world titles in 3 different divisions, the youngest boxer in history to do so, and the first in 40 years to achieve their accomplishment. Hope had to be hospitalized but recuperated and was able to marry his girlfriend before returning to England. After one more defeat to Luigi Mendicillo, Hope permanently retired. Is anybody here from the Hope family?
Morris Hope, Antigua's finest son of the soil.
Yes.
Did you see any of his matches, Frankie?
Yes, I did. I was at the time, so I saw him on TV.
Continuing with sports, Heather Samuel Daly,
Well, Clement, I wasn't going to disturb you. I'm going to let that.
born 6th July 1970. Heather moved to Swetes at a very young age, where she attended the Swetes Primary School. Upon completion of her primary education, she attended the All Saints Secondary School, where she excelled in sports, primarily sprinting. She specialized in the 100 and 200 meters, representing Antigua and Barbuda in several international competitions. In 1990, she won 2 medals at the Central American and Caribbean Games, with a silver medal in the 100 meters and a bronze medal in the 200 meters. Heather gained an athletic scholarship as a sprinter jumper at Morris State University in Murray, Kentucky from 1991 to 1994. In 2004, she was selected for the Murray State Athletics Hall of Fame. Her World Championships debut came in 1993 when she competed in the 100 and 200 meters at the 1993 World Championships. She did not reach the final in either event. In May that year, she achieved a career's best time over the 100 meter, clocking 11.2 seconds in Indianapolis. In May, the next year, she clocked a career's best time of 23.20 over the 200 meters in Atlanta. In 1995, she became Central America and Caribbean champion for the only time. She again competed in 2 events at the World Championships, again without reaching the final, and repeated this at the 1997 World Championships. In 1999, she made it her debut at the World Indoor Championships and only competed in the 100 meters and the World Championships the same year. She completed the 100 meters as well as her last world level 200 meters at the 2000 Summer Olympics and in the 60 meters at the 2001 World Indoor Championships, again without reaching the final round. However, she repeated her success from 1990 at the Central American and Caribbean Games, once again winning a silver and a bronze medal. In 2003, she reached the 60 meters semifinals at the 2003 World Indoor Championships, which was her best result in the global athletics event. Unsuccessful participations at the 2003 World Championships and the 2004 Summer Olympics followed. She has not competed since 2004. In 2013, Heather was appointed as Director of Sports for Antigua and Barbuda. Antigua and Barbuda's most decorated athletes, having won 210 medals in a regional and collegiate competitions. She is also a 3-time Sportswoman of the Year. Heather Samuel Daly.
Yeah, guys, another wonderful lady, Heather Samuels Daly, really set the track alight when she was on it.
Yeah, she carried Antigua's flag for many years as the star performer on the track. Her record, I think, for was it the 2 or the 1, was only just recently broken. National record by
Ridley
Backer.
No, by in the females.
Detamo Jacobs. Ridley
Lloyd.
Detamo
Joella
Jacobs.
Lloyd.
Hailing from the village of Swetes, Ridley Jacob was the second international cricketer from this small village, born November 26, 1967. Jacobs was a left-handed wicket-keeper batsman for the West Indies cricket team in the late 1990s and early 2000s. He was the first opening batsman to carry his bat in the history of Cricket World Cup and was the 4th batsman to do so in a one-day international. Jacobs also picked up 219 dismissals in tests along with 189 ODIs, which is second only to Jeff Dujan for the West Indies in his international career. He made his test match debut in 1998 on his 31st birthday, playing in 65 tests in 6 years. In this time, he took over 200 catches behind the stumps, making him only the second West Indian keeper to achieve this feat after Jeffrey Dujan. He also played 147 ODIs. However, he was gradually pushed out of the team during 2004-2005 series with Courtney Brown and Carlton Bohr Jr. challenging for the position. He's widely known for playing a valuable knock as opener, scoring an unbeaten 149 of 142 balls against Australia in the 1999 Cricket World Cup, and became the first ever batsman to carry his bat in a World Cup match. 20 years later, at the 2019 Cricket World Cup, Sri Lankan captain Dimuth Karunaratne joined him in this elite list of carrying the bat in a Cricket World Cup. Jacob also jointly holds the world record for taking 7 catches in a test innings, which was achieved against Australia in Melbourne in 2000. He shares the feat with Wasim Barry, Bob Taylor, and Ian Smith. Jacobs became the first West Indian to score a century for the West Indies against South Africa in the 2001 Test Series. He later was named as the stand-in captain in place of Carl Hooper for the West Indies in 2002 to 2003 against Bangladesh. He led the West Indies to a 2-0 win in the ODI series and a 2-0 sweep of the Test series upon the tour. During 2004, Jacobs featured in a record-breaking partnership where he scored an unbeaten century, 107, and Brian Lara 400 not out in the 4th Test against England at the Antigua Recreation Ground, St. John's. I was there. We now invite Ridley Jacobs.
Gentlemen, as he was reading that, I was saying, if it's one century that you won't hear much of, is that 107?
Yes. It was totally dwarfed. It was totally, it would have been Mr. Irrelevant at the time. But because of him, Brian Lara had a steady partner and was able to achieve that. And a lot of credit should go to him, and it should not go unnoticed.
Unnoticed, indeed.
Ridley Jacobs. And Ridley Jacobs, it just epitomizes that notion of perseverance. You know, just stay committed to the task. Because as you said, he started his career at 31.
Well,
his West Indies career, I should say.
Very late call up when a lot of people were calling for him to be included in the side, but unfortunately, he just wasn't called.
We're not only here to honor our sport heroes, but this is still sports. Enoch Emmanuel Uriah Lewis is a high character, God-fearing, multi-skilled, multi-talented individual with extensive expertise and experience as a senior commercial banker, a highly respected and distinguished first-class cricketer, and a proven cricket administrator who has been recognized for his exemplary contribution in the boardroom. Following in the footsteps of his father, Rufus Lewis, Enoch gravitated to the sport of cricket as a boy and became one of 8 siblings to represent the village of Swetes in sports. History would show he was appointed captain of the Swetes team while still a teenager, and thereafter, because of consistent prolific performances as a batsman, quickly gained selection to the Antigua national team, the Leeward Islands team, the Combined Islands team, and selected representative of the West Indies team. All these achievements were first for a cricketer from Swetes and led to immediate name recognition for Mr. Lewis and his beloved village of Swetes across Antigua, the Leeward Islands, and the wider region. Therefore, as it turned out, Enoch was the player who opened the eyes of the world to the cricketing prowess that abounded in Swetes, and in the process helped pave the way for players like Sir Curtly Ambrose and Ridley Jacobs. To date, he holds the honor of being the only cricketer from the community to be appointed captain of Antigua national team. Mr. Lewis' first-class career was spanned 1975 to 1986 coincided with what most analysts consider the most highly competitive era of Caribbean cricket. Coupled with that, in the absence of the professional cricket pathway in the Caribbean at that time, he had to constantly decline opportunities to advance his cricket career in favor of ensuring he can preserve his job as a banker. This obviously curtailed his chances to further excelling in the sport. Alongside his exploits in cricket, Mr. Lewis similarly established a successful professional banking career with a world-leading banking institution where he held progressively senior managerial position until he retired in 2017. Following his playing career, Mr. Lewis immersed himself in cricket administration, performing various key roles, including that of director, chairman of selectors, and as president of both the Antigua Cricket Association and the Leeward Islands Cricket Board. Currently, Mr. Lewis remains the president of the LICB, a role he had held since 2016. At the regional level, Mr. Lewis is currently a director of Cricket West Indies. He holds the distinction of being the longest-serving director of West Indies cricket. Mr. Lewis also sits on the board of Coolidge Cricket Grounds, further demonstrating his commitment to enhancing cricket infrastructure and player development in Antigua, the Leeward Islands, and the region. Notwithstanding his elevated profile as a recipient of a national award, and despite his success as a respected leader, long-standing career banker, and strategic thinker, Mr. Lewis has also always remained grounded and committed to the community that he credits with his assistance to raise him. A community that nurtured and supported him at the time when the rest of the world didn't know his name, his ability as a cricketer, or as a person. The community, of course, is Swetes, and while life has intervened, leading to him and many original residents no longer residing in the community, he is quick to remind all concerned that the community of Swetes continues to live on in him and will forever be a part of his life. As the saying goes, you can take a man out of the village of Swetes, but you cannot take the village out of the man. Put another way, Enoch E.U. Lewis is a Swetes man for life.
Well, Enoch Lewis has been a very successful administrator. And like we say, we learn something new every day. I never knew he was a banker.
Yes.
But growing up all the time, you would always hear that Carlisle Best was an economist at the Central Bank of Barbados during his playing days. But we never knew that Enoch Lewis was a banker.
Indeed, and as they said, he declined many a move in cricket because he wanted to concentrate or secure his banking career.
Right, and that's the fast bowler from Barbados, Sylvester Clark, who said he was a carpenter making mediocre pay, and he was not being, getting into the West Indies team. So going to South Africa was an easy choice for him.
Easy choice for him, okay.
Yeah, speaking about that, but just before we get to that, yes, I did an interview with Enoch, and Enoch did allude to that, it was a choice he had to make, between sustaining himself and his family, his career, and so that probably would have affected some of the cricketing decisions.
Okay, at this time we're gonna break from
And he came
recognizing
at a time also
or
when
honorees.
West
We're
Indies
gonna
had
come
a
right back
plethora of
to
talent,
that
both
in
batting and bowling,
short
so it would
order.
have been very difficult
But at
for
this
him to
time,
break his way into
while
the
we
West
still
Indies
have the
team.
presence of His Excellency with us, we're gonna do the unveiling of the wall at this time.
All right, guys, so they're
So,
going to go to the
Right
unveiling
now we will
of the
witness the unveiling of the wall before the departure of His Excellency.
So the Governor General has to leave, I guess, for other duties, so they will...
We're going to call on Reverend Dr. Daniel, and he will do anointing and blessing as we unveil.
the Wall of Fame.
Speaking about Sylvester Clark there a while ago, Clement, I was reading an article about
Shall we all
Lawrence Rowe.
understand and stand
I was
quickly
reading an
as
article
we
from Lawrence Rowe from Jamaica, and they were saying that he needs
do
to
this very, very
Get a pardon from
memorable thing this
apologize
afternoon?
so he can be recognized.
There is no king that God hadn't put in place that he didn't anoint, and he anointed special places. So we want God's blessings upon this place. And so this afternoon we want to dedicate this wall in the honor and memory of all the persons in our community who have made significant contribution. In Jesus' name.
So as we just about getting ready to see the black curtain being removed, and the faces of the Sweetonians, as they call it. That's the name of it.
That's the term I've heard them using.
The Sweetonians, and so here we go. I see one cover. Okay, going up. We need Curtly Ambrose here. We need some tall guys to get this over. Yeah, but they were saying that Lawrence Rowe was suggesting that, you know, if he just apologizes, you know, they would give him all his recognition.
I think he has on previous occasions. And here goes the applause for the wall.
All right, so the wall is finally exposed. Oh, there it is.
Unveiled, it's the
Unveiled,
word.
unveiled, sorry, unveiled, yeah.
And the people of Sweets can be grateful for those trailblazers who have, in different disciplines, made it possible for others to follow. And we have a dwindling, in communities today, we have a dwindling idea of mentorship for the young persons. And I think these types of things help in some way to get this going.
Preserve the memories of the stalwarts who have gone before.
One of the things I would have loved to see, though, I'd love to see a representative from the school. I think you spoke about the community, and one of the challenges we have is a lot of our youngsters, they do not know, so they cannot appreciate.
Yes.
And so I would have really... Okay, as the Governor General is doing, is it a walk of fame here?
And we will see which one he stands beside and smiles back at the most. Very well. Come on, let's give another round of applause. And again, we would have all the honorees. At this time, we do a little walkthrough as well. So.
I'm an Opsy fan.
And I think this is the most appropriate song to play at this occasion.
All them false heroes, returning our destiny. I'm sure the listeners are thinking I'm
Just take a quick little walk right through.
Imposed upon we, let's reclaim our own history. English names like St. George and St. John, Falmouth, Willie Keys and Codrington, they don't reflect our
Praise the Lord. This is a great honor.
Village or Swallow Town. Sons of the soil also brought pain. Proudly we claim.
You can always return to read the bio another day. They will always be here.
Sons of the soil also
Very proud moment for all Sweetonians. Very proud moment.
out to heroes' names.
This moment is not for 5 minutes for each one. It's just for you to glance and pass through. Because you can return another day and do all the reading up.
people are manifest in their language. Yes, it helps them to be able to name their streets and village.
All right,
Their
keep it
forts
going,
and all
keep it
their
going.
buildings, their schools and institutes, draws upon the strength of their siblings and upon their native roots. So that is why we must now delete Drake Hawkins and Nelson Street, Shirley Heights, and Nelson's backyard. Our progress these days retard. Instead of using King George pasture, why not Andy Roberts, the fast bowler? All cricket fans should be bombed on P.V. Richards' recreation ground. Sons of the soil also brought fame. Proudly we claim our true heroes' name.
All right, let's keep it going.
Sons of the soil
This is just for intermission break. So it can't be a long, long afternoon. Keep moving. Remember, they will always be here to come back and take pictures, come back and read them up again. So let's make this as quickly as possible. They will always be there to take pictures and read another day. So just quickly walk through if you want to at this time.
Frankie, I see Clement is in a photographic mood today. He's now getting a photograph with the Governor General.
Yes. He knows how to hobnob with the celebrities.
Yes. He got his photo with Sir Kirtley, so he's very happy.
That is why Coolidge Airport should be named after their bird who fought Hampton. Hospital, you see, should be named after Prince Ramsey. And it is time we name our streets Ernest Williams, Gwentown, and Dr. Heath. Her Majesty Prison, that's the West. Why not call that Bulgari place? Sons of the soil also brought fame. Proudly we claim our true heroes' names. Sons of the soil also brought fame. Proudly we claim our true heroes' names.
Okay.
It's gone.
Hello? Okay. That's better, much better. Yes, Frankie, so we're seeing all of the awardees and villagers just enjoying.
The moment, the unveiling of the wall and the pictures of themselves and all the awardees. I think, as you said earlier, John, it would have been good if school children were being encouraged to be here for this occasion, because we don't keep up the knowledge and the history of the stalwarts who have gone before, so that the children coming up can appreciate where we came from, what we fought for, and what we have achieved. And that will help us not only in sports, but in life.
In life in general, and I think that's one of the challenges with our youths of today. There's no great appreciation of the sacrifice, the commitment, the dedication that the pioneers had to make to get us here. We just know that we're driving fancy cars, we're on the internet, but there was a lot of work that had to be put in to get us there. And so I believe we have to open up these doors where I would say guided to these sort of events. I would even go as far as say maybe from the new school term. Start the term, we have to do a walkthrough.
That's a very good idea. What say you, John, as you return? Clement, as you return from your.
Okay, we're going to get Lady Samuel joining us here. All right, so let's say good afternoon to our Director of Sports and one of the honorees here, Lady Heather Samuel. Good afternoon, Madam Samuel.
Hey, good afternoon.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm doing good, and I'm joined here by
I
the
want, I want to say good
DPP,
afternoon
Clement
also.
Joseph.
Hi. Good afternoon.
What's the feeling like? Tell us, what's the moment like?
Hi. Swiss is where I got my not initial beginning, but that is where I started my athletic career representing Swedes at the zonal competitions in Liberta School. And by one of my former teachers was just reminding me that they keep saying you got to start at All Saints School, but you got to start here at Sweet. So this is a community that is dear to my heart. Is really where I started my career. Yes, I represented Antigua on All Saints Secondary School, but I always lived here throughout most of my career. And so I'm grateful for the opportunities that I was given here, for the persons who would have guided me, Mr. Michael, um, past principal, teacher Violet, and past Millicent David and teacher Jasmine Spencer, who would have guided me along my journey um, while I was at Sweet School. And as well, those who would have played some kind of role in my career at All Saints Secondary School. Shane, James now, and the others who would have played a very big part in my career.
And I would think that because as director of sports, you have that instrumental, you've been instrumental in trying to pass that on to the community, not only the community of Sweets, but island-wide.
Well, that's the big thing. You once you're called upon for any school, you have to make sure that you put in your or give your advice or pass on your knowledge to the persons who ask. And so I have never shirked my responsibility, not as an athlete, not as a director of sports. And this is a job that it's not just for one sport, but it's for all the sports. And it's a job that I'm enjoying. I absolutely love it. I also absolutely love watching young people grow. Watching them is like you plant a seed, and 5, 6, 7 years later you see them progressing and improving. Case in point, we have quite a few of our athletes going off to college, and I was instrumental in them starting their journey as a track athlete. So I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm also thankful that I'm able to see and watch others grow in the same sport that I was in.
Yeah, that's really really good to hear. Sports, we notice a lot of the youngsters they're distracted by many different activities. How are we getting our children to really focus and to understand that the values that sports can bring to their life?
Well, I have heard that for a long time now that our athletes are distracted. Yes, they are, but it's for us as sports person to continue to show them that there are lots of opportunities in sports. I just mentioned about scholarships. There are lots of scholarships opportunities in sports. Not only just track and field. There's football scholarships. There's basketball scholarships. There's track and field scholarships, of course, yes. But they need us that who have paved the way, who was there before, to continue fighting, to continue showing them that there are opportunities in sports. I never knew at this time that I was going to be director of sports. I never knew that I was going to be representing Antigua at the Olympics for four Olympic Games. I never knew that I was going to be the first female to ever win a Pan Am Games medal. I never knew that I was going to be CAC champion. But it's the persons that were around me, that groomed me, that motivated me, and I also watched former athletes who would have gone ahead and done some sort of similarly to what I have done, that I was able to achieve some of these goals. So people like Fred Sobey and Calvin Greenaway and Teddy Daly and all those who would have gone before me, and Joycelyn Joseph and Laverne Bryan, there were some persons that really did well. Yes, might not have gone where I went, but the thing is that they laid the foundation. And now that I took it a little higher, then there's Joella Lloyd and there's Lanika Locker and Jaylina Dowdy that are looking to take it a little higher. So I'm pleased that I was able to make a contribution, and I will forever be grateful for those who have paved the way and for the opportunities that I would have got.
Hey, one last comment I have is I'm from Dominica, and I want to confess I am not a lover of track and field. Sadie always chides me about that. I love cricket,
Yeah.
exclusive cricket.
Right.
And I was pleased to have already a bio and quite an accomplishment.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
didn't
started
realize
quite
that
young.
the OECS had
Yes.
such great talent.
Yes.
And I want to
Former
congratulate
OACS
you.
record holder too, so you know I've made my contribution.
Good.
So,
So I want to congratulate you on
Thank
your
you.
achievements.
thank you kindly.
Well done, and
Thank you.
looking forward to the future.
Okay, so thanks a lot, Heather.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Director of Sports and one of the awardees here in Lady Heather Daly Samuel. Who want us to sit.
We were at a family function.
We'll catch up, all right? All right, nice seeing you, as always.
Okay, so now we're joined in. Let's get him set up his headset. All right, so we're now joined in studio by, I hope I get the name right, is it Veer Samuel?
That's me.
That's Veer Samuel. Well, Veer, welcome to the Antigua Parish League Network as we bring live coverage of this award ceremony. Just share a little with us as to how this was conceptualized and what's your role in all of this.
So about 2 years ago, a friend of ours, Ken, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about that, passed. And Ken had a lot of influence on us. Ken played cricket. He represented Antigua at the under 19 level. And he was instrumental in a lot of us, the younger ones behind him, getting into the sport. He migrated to the United States and passed away tragically. And there was this drum that started beating within a couple of us to do something in memory of him. And we started this just a bit chat and to talk about what this looks like. Didn't know what it would look like. Didn't know that it would become this. It was just, hey, we need to connect. We need to stay connected, and we need to do something to impact the community, and not just impact the community, but leave a lasting legacy. We didn't know what that looked like at the time, and we started, brainstorming. And through our brainstorm, there were things that we did. We did, some charitable work, giving back to the community, giving back to the R.M.B. Williams School. We've been buying jerseys, constantly buying jerseys. As we're talking right now, the Steel Band is playing in the back there. They're wearing jerseys that we bought. So, that's the kind of things that we have been doing. We have book bag drives. We've done a book bag drive. We're doing another one this year. And for a group, that's just 2 years. We've done a lot. We started working on this wall probably about a year ago. And we didn't know what the wall would look like. We know we wanted to do something to recognize the people that came before us. Because there were a lot of people who came before us who did great things. And we started looking at our legacy and what our legacy would look like. And, thinking about our legacy, we said, hey, we have never recognized the people who impacted us. So if we want to leave a lasting legacy, we have to recognize the people who came before us and acknowledge their legacy. So that's what we're doing here today, acknowledging their legacy and giving back to the people who planted seeds in us. Some of us have become professionals. Dare I say we're doing well, and well is relative. We're God-fearing people. We are contributing to wholesome society, and for lack of a better term, we're not in prison. We're out here doing what we're supposed to do. We want the kids who follow us to follow us and do what we're doing, become impactful in our community, and so it's all about legacy for us.
I want to congratulate you. I'm originally from Dominica, and I'm from a village which history tells us that our forefathers came from Montserrat and Antigua.
Okay.
Because there was one gentleman who owned those two villages in Dominica as plantations, and he owned plantations in Montserrat and Antigua.
Okay.
So he brought his people over to live there, and they stayed to themselves. So those two villages, the people cannot speak the French Creole that the rest of Dominica speaks.
Gotcha.
And in my village, I can see the Antigua connection. There is a Margot Development Corporation, and they have something similar to this. About a month ago, they had, well, they call it Heroes Wall,
Okay.
and they added some more persons to it
Okay. Okay.
recently. And the concept is the same, and the results are the same. Let's not forget those who brought us to where we are now.
Yep.
Least we forget, we're going to decline, and that's humans. I mean, you guys have done tremendous in getting this together.
Yeah,
And
it's so I'll interject here and say you said tremendous. It's a lot of work, and I mean we have a group of 50 men and growing, and then we have our leadership group, and I'm a part of the leadership group. I'm the treasurer of the leadership group for the diaspora, and it takes a lot to get here. We don't always agree, but we agree that we need to do something, and one of the things that I will, say about our group is that we choose a path and we all follow it. Irrespective to the fact that it may not be the path that I or the others may want, when that path is chosen, we all follow.
We all follow the plan.
We all,
Once the plan is set.
whatever the plan is, and we make the decision that, you know what, this is what we're doing. We're going. We're going. And as we're talking now, I mean, they're recognizing, an educator here. So, I mean, it's all about, those are the people who taught us and just fed, the knowledge into us. So it's really nice to see, these guys just being recognized.
Yeah, it's very good because I think our educators normally get left behind when we all get into our big careers. We just think about ourselves. I've made it, but it's those educators at the ground level in the primary school, the first form, the second form. They're the one that instill those values, those cultures that would allow us to for the path that we would go on. So I'm really happy to see quite a few educators in your.
And I'll say this, in terms of educators, this is probably the largest group. I think there's 9, and irrespective of the fact that there's 9, Charles Samuel was an educator also.
Okay.
So I mean, it's a lot of educators being recognized today. Miriam Samuel, Millicent David, Rosemary Robinson, and Whitfield Brown. A lot of educators.
yeah, the backbone of communities. My mom, I said she was my primary school teacher. Had a break. Hurricane David intervened. New school. She became my secondary school teacher again. And so I was never out of her clutches. And it is the teachers around you that help to develop you, because it's like they took that motherly role, that fatherly role,
most definitely.
and they helped mold the young people. And I really, really want to congratulate you guys on recognizing them and what they have done for your community, and to inspire a whole new brand of folks to follow into their footsteps.
Big picture is, hey, we didn't do this to get a tap on the shoulder.
No.
We did this because it was needed.
Yes.
This was needed in our community. We say all the time, and we keep saying that this is about our community, and we see that communities are changing. There's a lot of people migrating into our community now. Our big thing is, we know what our community is. When they show up and they come to our community, they need to adjust to how we live. We don't need to adjust to how they live.
It has its
Just
traditions.
Yes.
Getting involved in the traditions of Swetes.
The things that we do that they need to do. And if they want to be here, they need to do that.
And this is very important because, as you said, with the influx of all these other cultures, sometimes our culture, our way of being, way of living, gets diluted.
Yes.
And if you do not know, if I'm growing up and I don't know this is how we did it,
Exactly.
and I see this way now, I'm going to think this is the way it was,
exactly.
So again, commendation to you and your group out of the diaspora. We just want to encourage you guys to continue.
Most definitely.
And as one of the speakers said, I do hope that this will be a catalyst for other villages around this community.
As he was playing a song there, I'm an Antiguan fan, Calypso cricket and thing. So I'm an upstage, short shirt, Swallow fan, and he was playing a song. A people are known by their culture. A people are known by their past. The
Yes,
past
they
that
are.
determines the future.
Most
From the
definitely.
present, we could forecast. And so the people who move into Swetes, they need to know the past in order to know where they're at. and they could forecast the future.
And I want to say one thing there. Is we encourage people to move into Swedes.
Yes.
We want them here. We don't want people to think that we don't want other cultures here.
Right.
And this is coming from someone who have migrated.
Right, right.
So I know the impact that I brought to another community.
Yes.
And when I got there, I had to adjust to that community. We just want them to come in and adjust to what we do in our community. And the good things that they bring from their cultures, we'll accept it.
Yes.
Just don't bring the bad with it.
And it's just a matter, it's not like this kind of insularity, like you're from like Bertha, so don't come here and try
No,
to be
not
like
at
that.
all.
It's
Not
a
at
matter
all.
of coming to Sweets, just understanding
Yes,
our
sir.
culture.
Understanding our culture.
Understanding our culture.
And we do have one.
Yes.
Yes.
Assimilating yourself within the community. You know, and we are independent. You're free.
Yeah, you're free.
To practice your culture.
You're free to practice your
And
culture.
A melting pot
the good
is
things,
nothing
the
for
good things that people
development.
bring. I mean, bring the good things with you, and show us that. I mean, years ago, I can remember. I mean, someone coming in the village and they set up and started doing some jerk chicken and all that stuff. We love that stuff.
Yes.
Those are the kind of stuff that we want them to bring. It's okay. We just don't want the bad stuff to come with it. And so we want to make sure that our cultures are blended the right way and we do things like that. But I mean and in addition to that, we want them to become Sweetsonians also, because they also can make it to this wall. Because we're not saying because you're not born from Sweets, we don't recognize you as Sweetsonians. I mean, we just talked about Heather Salmon. Heather Salmon was not born in Sweets. She grew up in Sweets. We all went to school together. She was not born here. But she is a Sweetsonian.
Yes.
She is a Sweetsonian.
She's grafted herself
She
as a
she is
Sweetsonian.
definitely a Sweetsonian.
Well, Mr. Samuel, we want to say thank you. And we are going to continue, let you go ahead and enjoy the rest of the celebration.
Appreciate it, guys.
And
Appreciate
again,
it,
we
guys.
just want to say a real thank you. It's a real wonderful, I really love to see, it's just good looking through the audience and just see the ordinary man and woman just being a part of this. And real good. Congratulations.
Thank you. One thing before I go. How many people can say that they can touch their heroes? We just did.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
We just spoke about the Governor General. You said you couldn't want anything better.
We just touched our heroes. The Governor General, Kirby Ambrose, Ridley Jacobs. We just touched our heroes. Not many can say they did that. We just did that today.
All right. All
Thank
the
you,
best.
guys.
All the
On
best, my
behalf of
brother.
our team, I want you to give a special thanks and congratulations to your team
Appreciate it, guys.
on having
Mr.
put this
Appreciate it,
a
guys.
reality, make it a reality.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank
Have
you.
a great day.
Thanks.
All right,
Thank
man.
you.
Mr. Alban U. Samuel. We have a representative from the Samuel.
And John, this
Okay,
Oh,
guys.
okay.
We're going to be joined by the president,
Oh, okay.
the Carl. So we're now going to be joined, because he gets himself set up. Are you good, Carl?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Glad to be here.
So we're joined by Carl Hillhouse. I see Mr. Let me give you official title, Mr. Basil Carl Hillhouse.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Antigua Parish League Network, and we understand that you're the president of the USA
Nice chapter.
chapter.
Yeah, international, right.
Tell us a little, before we get into this, tell us a little bit about, how this chapter was formed, how you guys came together.
Well, as I said earlier, on the podium, we start with our good friend when we all grew up watching the elderlies, guys playing cricket, soccer. And one of our friend is Ken Goodwin. As you see his name right there in the middle on the wall. He passed away 2 years ago. And that kind of drawn us back together as Sweet Men. Because we all haven't seen each other in over 30, 40 years ago. You know what I mean? And when guys see and say Ken, and we mention, guys say, hey, let's start. Have you talked to this? Have you talked to Carl? Have you talked to Reckless? Have you talked to... Guys, let's add them in the group. So as they add us in the group, we all start coming together and start talking. I'm like, listen, what are we going to name? And not forget Dallas Thomas would have loved to be here. But because of illness, he didn't make. He's one of the founders that adding guys in the group. So we send out a prayer for him because he would have loved to be a part of what's all taking place here, but he couldn't be. So we all started the chat. We all talk about it, but like we said earlier, we didn't want to just be men just chatting on a chat. We want to be men on a mission. Men who do something for our community, So it's like, listen, what's our mission and what's our vision? Our mission, we start like, hey, think about our community, where we came from. And we start with that, and then what's the vision? Reaching out to the elderly, reaching out, bring our young men back. That, we was young and see the cricketers, the footballers. We look up to them, but who are the young men looking up to now? Who are they seeing as an example? The teachers, the politicians, the ones that whip us when we was little, that make us be men we are now, besides our parents, Our parents do a job, but they also add to it, because now you can't hit kids nowadays. You hit somebody, kids, you're in trouble. Back then, you walk down the street, you do something, you get a hit.
And then when you go home,
you get another one.
Yes.
And that was going to be my next question to you before Joseph came in. I was going to ask you to just kind of compare what was life like in Sweets, those years back, and what you're seeing now. I was going to ask you to give a quick
Life back then for us was, like I said, communal. We all raised up, growing in one of each other's house, go around. We like family. Like they say, you can't take the man out of the community because you never take the community out of the man. So we grown up, but I don't think you see a lot of that now in today's world. Even though I'm not in Sweet like I used to be, with, like you see, President Ben and Schumel and the guys that work on the wall, we in the United States, but we still hear a lot of what's happening. With the youth men, them fall aside and not getting the help. So we try to be a part where we can be. So it's a big difference, and it's a culture change.
Yes.
You can't avoid that things are generation, things are changed, things are going a little differently. So
this is not only particular with Antigua.
Right, exactly.
I traveled the region. I'm from Dominica, and I knew growing up, like I said, my mom was a school principal and stuff. And if I were to pass you on the road, and you're older than me, and I do not say good morning, sir, good afternoon, sir, and that is reported to her, I would feel it.
Yes, right.
I go back to Dominica now often, and there's this one place in my village, and I go and I dress in my shorts, my slippers, I go play cricket. So one young man came to me one day, and he was in such awe that
Mr. Vanisdale, Big Van
Jarvis, lawyer, director of public prosecutions, and you come here play dominoes with us? And I'm like, there's anything wrong in that. And we just need to get at the community level more involved. This is the beginning of that involvement. First, you have to recognize those who created that environment where the mid-generation
Mr. Rufus A. Lewis, OM.
excel. And then it's now, after you've gotten these youth to get involved in that, then it's like, what are you going to do? What is your legacy going to be? How are you going to contribute to your community? And now they have people to look up to. And they have systems to get them there. And like I was just telling a previous speaker, I want to really congratulate you guys on what you have done, on what you are doing, and what you intend to do. And I think it will make, and at the top of the session, one person said that
Mr. Leonard, DJ King, Joe
other communities following the footsteps of Sweets. So now that you guys have led the way as a trailblazer of this type of community involvement, that others will move on and Antigua as a whole will benefit.
Right. And the thing that we plan on as far as Sweet Men for Life, like I said, a trailblazer. We want other people to see that men can come together and work. Yes, it's going to be some trials, some difficulty and trials, but you never give up to adversity. You endure and press into adversity. So
that is very critical, because we see our young people for today. I was speaking when Ridley was going up, and I was saying, when you look at Ridley Jacobs, he went through so much, he could have given up.
Right.
He could have called it a day, said, hey, I'm not interested anymore, let me go and do farming. But he persevered, he stayed true to his cause, and, ended up being one of our better cricketers to play. And so this sort of energy, this sort of vibes is what we need to transcend to the young men in today's community.
Right, and that's the whole point, is to them to see. Because, like you see, we see guys, teachers, cricketers. We look up and say, man, we want to do it. We hear about Ridley, Colin, one of the fast bowlers. Steele, we just, as you see up
Steel,
there.
yeah.
You know,
Steel went up there?
Steele is up there already.
Oh, I need to see Steel. I've heard so much about that name.
Yeah, Steele is up there. He's right there now. He's right there, the one giving out. No, not him. That's Steele right there.
Oh,
the one that, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so
We have to interview him, man. I've heard so much about that
yes,
name.
man. Steele as well. So when
Yeah.
we look up and we talk about on the chat, those guys are the name come up all the time. You know, so now that we look up to them, we want to be the example for the other young men can look back and say, listen, if they can make it, we can make it. If they can persevere and go to different states all over the world and do something like this, even though some of us is not here with the guys on the ground, we participate, we get involved, we let them see the faces. But it takes a group, like we say, to run something. It's not just one person. It takes a team.
It's the old adage, it takes a village to raise a child. You
That's
know?
it. Exactly. So if one man stand up there to try and do it all, with all the different areas, he can. You know, so just to know that it's not just about one of us, it's all of us, sweet men, for life, you know.
There's a feeling of nostalgia within me as to what you all are doing. I always, the lives that I touch, I think I want to meet, when I meet people, it's my personal goal to make their lives better in some way than when I met them. Some people tell me, oh, I cannot do this, I have not had that. And I always say the key to success is opportunity.
That's right.
Once you, some people never excelled at school, some people never excelled in their early life, and it was not a matter of the inability to do that. I graduated high school at a very early age. My mom was a school teacher. She told me to go do A-levels so she could send me to university.
Those of us who are looking
I went
for
to
the bathroom,
take
there are two of you to my left.
acting jobs here, there, and there.
then
And by the time
after
you know
we
that, I couldn't go back to
finish,
6-1
like
college.
refreshment.
But
So
I
you're
knew
not
somewhere in
gonna
the back
go
of my
first.
head I
Light
could
refreshment.
succeed. I joined the police force. That wasn't so nice. I spent some years in the U.S. Army, and then I went to law school.
Right.
And
Dale Lewis,
went to law school, and now I think I have reached a good position that I'm satisfied with as Director of Public Prosecutions. So I always want to tell people, don't ever give up on your dreams. You know, I left the U.S. Army and I had no idea I was getting a cent to go to law school. Almost $200,000. Here I am.
Wow.
Karen Samuel.
So people need to know that if these young people, we need to drive it in their heads that if you want it, you can get it.
You can get it.
You can get it.
You can get it.
And I think your organization is just that type of organization needed in this community to
Yes.
assist your youth.
And the thing we want to set is an example, like I said, to other villages.
Yes.
That they can see that men can work together, men can pull together. Not excluding the women, because
Right.
you know they are part of a help and support. But men organize things and make it possible, and this is what we want to be an example.
Mr. Talbot,
And some you say important that say that you know sometimes you excel in a later age.
Yes.
When you go back even into the book and the Bible and stuff. Man, it took them 100 and something, but God elevate us. Sometimes you may not develop now, but later
Yes.
on, if you don't give up, like you said,
Right.
and you know you can persevere and say, you know what, it may not be now, and maybe your opportunity not now, but your opportunity is when the time comes. To say, now is the time, and now you excel. Because opportunity is always in front of us.
Yes, it's there.
Yes, definitely. And I think it even goes back to the teachers. When you look at the teachers in those days, they just knew how to get you in that right frame, that mind, get you in that position. As you said, everybody's not a quick learner, everybody's not going to catch on, but, and it's really just good to see all of these people in one space and just really being given their flowers, as I was saying, Clement earlier. I'm happy for this because a lot of times we wait until people are gone, and then is when we're saying, oh, the world is, but this is the time, and it's really good to see them being able to get their flowers. So again, we must commend you and your team. You work along with the local.
Yeah, with the chapter.
The chapter here.
Yes, we push from the U.S. side what needs to be done, things we need to get. So a lot of people may not see our face as much as the Antigua chapter,
right.
but we still impact from the behind. Like they say, it's like the body. You see the whole frame right here, but the heart, the kidney, the liver,
Has
is
to move,
pushing
pushing
point of
everything.
other things. You know what I mean? 'Cause if you take the heart out,
That's the end of it.
the end of life. So sometimes we may not see each other, but we behind the scene pushing on support. Meanwhile, they underground. Because the whole point is working together. When we work together, like you said, you got to unite. Without unity, is division.
Yes.
And you have to have unity, and that's what we want the young men to see, that we can unify. And something you said very important about the teachers. And we was just talk to one of our teachers over there, and we say, listen, back then when we used to act up and stuff, you guys used to whip us. Back into chat, you whip us, you know what I mean? And then when you go home and tell your mom, you get another whipping.
You'll get the
You know
second
what I mean?
dose.
You get a second dose. But the main example they used to tell you, you either want to learn or you want to left out.
Yeah.
And most of the time you want to learn. Because if you don't learn, you just be on the wayside.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then you're looking at other people that are making it, wonder why
You're
not
not making it.
Because
When we were growing up, we all kind of tested that. We
Cornelius.
didn't have guidance counselors at school.
No.
I didn't have no guidance.
we didn't have that.
No, you have to go to the guidance counselor to tell you that you are least likely to succeed in high school.
Right.
And that's in your yearbook.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's an automatic defeat for a youngster.
So, right.
And
Right.
I've met people who said, look at my yearbook. I was voted the least likely to succeed, but I punished them with success.
That's it.
I punished them with success.
Success, that's
And
it.
that is the greatest thing you can use to throw in somebody's who doubted your ability.
That's it. And in life, as the young man can see, in life, we all have choices. You can choose to do it, as you say earlier, or choose not to do it. You can choose to say, I want to fly, go to the next level. I can choose to just sit on the wayside and do nothing.
Carl, not cutting you, but that is something that I've just said over the last year. That's just been my motto. You have a choice. You decide which
Direction you want to go.
direction you want to go.
I have an anecdote story for everything. As a drill sergeant, this young female came to me and she said, Drill Sergeant, I cannot do it. I need out of the army. And I told her, look at life.
Miss Grace and Michael.
Flooding ahead. There's a large rock in front of you. You have different options. You can go through that rock. You can go under that rock. You can go around that rock. You can go over that rock. Or you can turn back to whence you came. I say, go back upstairs and tomorrow come and tell me which of those choices.
That's it.
The soldiers would buy a class photo at the
Miss
end
Miriam
and
and
they would write
Eddie
all sorts
Charles.
of things. And she put on it, I have learned more about life in 9 weeks of basic training than I've learned in 15 years of school. Joseph Joseph is great. That one brought tears to me, and hurricane has destroyed a lot of my photos from the army. But that one is still in pristine shape.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do. What are you going to do?
What
Turn
you
back?
going to do? That's it.
Well, Carl, I know you want to go back and enjoy your festives here, so it was really nice speaking with you here, and we want to encourage you and your team to continue this work. I mean, I don't even have the words to describe it, but it's really a joy, a pleasure to just see this gathering. As I said before, just to see the ordinary Sweetonians, that's what you call it, the Sweetonians, sitting here and just enjoying this moment. So
Yeah.
all the best to you and your team.
Thank you.
And all the best, man.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, man,
Appreciate it,
anytime,
man.
man.
Thanks, guys.
All the best, man.
All the best.
Continue
Thank
doing
you.
what
Will do. Thank you.
All right,
Talk to
man.
y'all soon.
Yeah, man. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking to two of the organizers of from the chapter, the USA chapter of Swetes Men for Life. And so we spoke to Mr. Samuel there, and he said he was a treasurer, and also just speaking with Basil Carl Hillhouse. He is the president of the U.S. chapter there, and so I think they're doing some awards at the moment there, so the awards continue, and real wonderful moment here as we watch this ceremony as it continues with the awardees. We could see the leader of the opposition, Robert Jamal Pringle, sitting there and just soaking in all of this
You will get one in the near future.
here. And
Look everywhere. I cannot find it.
well, I'm seeing some persons that I've heard names called that I didn't know of.
Mr. Reginald Herbert,
I
could
said
you come
Mrs.
forward,
Steele there.
So we could have a photo op with you.
And some other one being called up for some photo op. So, Clement, real good work by this team here, the chapter out of the U.S.
Yes.
there, and really they should be commended, exalted for their efforts. And as I said, one of the difficulties, very difficult, because I guess they're living in all different states and
Yes.
different
Yes.
ways, and they have to come together, you know. And
And when you leave your community and you, like I say, you can leave the community, but the community does not leave you. And these guys, they get together and they do things, like you said, from different states. The logistics might be different, difficult, but in today's day and age, with the advent of social media and Skype. Well, Skype has closed really, but getting easier to get together so that they can put themselves together for the betterment of their community. They could go on Zoom or Teams and have a meeting with the chapter here. What are your needs? Let's see if we can get some sponsorship. Let's from ourselves or others, and for the betterment of their community. And they have to be commended for that.
Must be, and even them getting themselves together is a challenge. Then still having to work with the chapter down here, because the chapter down here, they're on the ground. They know what they're feeling. They might be up there. They may see it different, and then they have to bring everything together and come to one common goal. So they really have to be commended to be able to pull this off. And I'm telling you, I'm just glancing at this the wall, and it's just looking so really fantastic. I hope there is a maintenance, a preservation plan to make sure that it stays fresh.
Yes.
And after that, we
Yes,
have
it
the
should
Reverend Algernon get
And,
ready.
They should be thinking of
Call on you for word of closing prayer.
expansion in the future.
Well, I was. Yeah, so real, as you said, that mural, they may want in time to do some expansion, but we will see how that goes. All right, let's say good out. Just a second, okay. Just hold a second, Reverend Jarvis.
Yes.
We got to say, Swetes Men for life. We bringing back unity to our community. My name is Ben Thomas, Rowan Ben Thomas. I'm the president of the Antigua chapter. But we all work together in unison. And where we coming from, I'll be very short. Where we coming from is from just the president of the director mentioned earlier that one of our brothers has fallen. And we decide to come together, form this group, and here we are today. What you seeing here, the wall, this has been, we have been planning this and working on this for over 2 years. So it's a lot of hard work that went into this wall. A lot of hard work, a lot of precision, a lot of meetings, a lot of, studying how to go about. And I don't want to say, but let me say still, finance. A lot of finance. And we want to thank all of our sponsors. Everybody that put their, the money where the mouth is. And supported Swetes Men for Life. Swetes Men for Life is here, and we're here for good. We're not going anywhere. So we're preserving legacy. And I'm asking the people of Swetes today to help us to preserve the legacy and help us to protect and preserve our wall of fame. This is for Swetes. This will be a tourist attraction. I want all of us to safeguard this wall. And now I have the mic, let me say, we're going to be reaching out, and more so, all of us are here right now. So I don't even have to do much reaching out, go too far. We're going to need some plexiglass to preserve our wall. So everybody can, put a little thing, help us to, we need about 8 plexiglass to cover this wall, cover these photos, so we can preserve them properly. We don't want nobody, you have some idle people. We don't want nobody to come and damage or vandalize our beautiful edifice that we've just, unveiled right here. So please help us. Now, Swetes Men for Life have been doing a lot of things. We have been doing a lot of sponsors giving back. We sponsor the Irene B, you know, the football team, the panorama team, the Swiss football team, Swiss netball team. We give back to the clinic, to the school also, individuals in the community. And let me tell you one thing that we're doing, another exciting thing that we're doing that nobody heard about so far. I'm going to unveil it. Swetes Men for Life has inducted at least one person so far on the job program. Right? One youngster on the job program. So we're moving forward. We're looking for young and positive people that we can help. We want to steer them and guide them in the right way. When we're there, we want them to know that we love them. We want to rub shoulders with them. Because Swetes Men feel like it's not being dormant or just here being idle. We're not going to be idle. We are a productive group and we're going to stay productive. Right? So when we reach out to you guys, just know that it's serious business. We're not here for joke. We're not here to idle. So Swetes Men for Life, and our motto is bringing back unity to our community. I like to pick up all the guys them in Swetes Men for Life and our supporters. We have some moral supporters also. Anything we do, even though some of the guys are not able, they're always with us. At least the moral support says a lot. I have to pick up a man like Kilo. Right? Big up Kilo. Yeah. Kilo is not able, but every time that we here working, Kilo is here. Moral support is all that. Right? So you have to big up Kilo, big up everybody that, you know, that's always here, work with us, sponsoring us. You know, look, sometimes words cannot even describe, you know, what we do and how we do it. We have mountains, we have valleys, and then we have the plateau. But through it all, persevere. Right? Yeah. Thank you. No, we've been through a lot. We've come a long way. We've come a long way. And
Yeah.
that was like a moment of happiness. A moment of happiness. Because you see, I don't know if there's any days like this have been in Antigua or across the Caribbean. And Swetes Men for Life did this. And the passion that we have. So, I'm just asking everybody to support us. Just be asking for your support. One other thing we have also, and we're going to need support for this. We're going to need support from the community, from the churches. We're going to come to the churches. We're asking for your support. We're going to come to the school. We're going to ask for your support. And we're going to come and knock on doors cricketing village, not
Hey.
just a sporting village.
Yes.
Sweets is a cricketing village.
Yes.
And we plan to start back grassroots cricket in Sweets.
Yeah.
We plan to start back. We're gonna start from infants and whoever the bigger ones that want to come back in, because we have to start there. Sweets Men for Life is gonna start back grassroots cricket in Sweets. Forgive me of my little passion, because sometimes it's inside of me. This passion, this fire that I have for this group and for this community. They say you can take me out of Sweets, but you can't take Sweets out of me.
Hey.
So, all Sweetonians, we're reaching out to you, and we want to thank you for showing up today. Thanks for your support, and forgive me of my little heated passion, but hey,
That's
you have
all right.
to come out.
Yes.
You have to come out. Because when you see all these, I'm not going to say honorees, when you see all these dignitaries in front of you, man, it brings it out. It brings it out. Never know that we will be standing here and doing this. Eh? So, I thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so there we heard it from the president of the local chapter, giving a very passionate
How could I follow that?
speech there. And we want to welcome
we all
in
need to be
studio.
passionate for
I
our
want to welcome
community.
in our studio the,
I always
hope
tell
I get
my
it right, the
siblings
Reverend
that if you
Dr.
look for
Cartwright
birth certificate,
Jarvis.
Cartwright.
Cartwright.
Mine says
Cartwright
born
Jarvis,
in the
welcome
province
to
of
Parish
St.
League
Paul.
Network.
You know what that means?
Congratulations,
I am born like
wonderful day.
Sweets.
Thank you very much.
whatever
A
I
wonderful
can
day
do for
indeed.
this community,
I never
I'm gonna
thought
do it.
in all my
Even
years
if I
growing
made
up
a
in Sweets that
presentation
we would have
of
had
what
something
we-
like this.
we
So
are
for me,
partnering
it,
with Sweets Men.
like the speaker
I
a
am
while ago,
one.
very
So now I'm
emotional
two.
for me personally.
And we're
And
gonna
it's good to
continue
see something good
uplift our community.
happening in Sweets.
It's a must.
You know.
Are you guys with
I
us?
wanted to take you back a bit. You grew
Are
up
you
in
guys
Sweets.
with us?
What was Sweets like in the days you were
Are
growing
you
up? What was
guys
it like
with
in this
us?
community?
I think
Thank you.
growing up,
Rev,
we were very close together.
good
In fact,
evening, ladies and gentlemen.
they talk
Citonians,
about
please
Sweets
stand
being
for closing prayer.
a cricketing
This
community.
afternoon has been
We
quite
used
a
to have
humbling
about 6
experience.
teams in the
I've
village.
always said to people,
This small like a
"Where
village?"
did you come
Yes.
from?" So now I
Here,
get to have a
where we
Sweets
are,
Man
we
for
call it
life.
vicarage.
And that is
This is where
the new
Ambrose
plan,
Ambrose
Sweets Man
grew
for
up just
life.
about 2 houses from
Because
here.
you go all over.
So there was one
But I
here,
grew up in this
one at
village and
Roman
always
Hill,
knew that there was
one at
a level of
we say Sinton,
senior-
but people say Saint Anne's.
So you said what?
like everybody
Sinton.
else. But I knew
Sinton.
they-
Okay,
there
I've
was
always
always
Saint
a
Anne.
group of senior
Nah,
people
nah.
watching
Sinton
over
is the real
the
name
younger
for us.
people to
But
hit the
you make
talent
it sound
and
nice
to
when you say
shovel that
Saint
forward. We need
Anne.
to continue that tradition
We had a
because
team
we
around
will
the
grow
school
greater people. Thank
where
you, Sweets
Enoch
Men for
Lewis
Life,
and the
for
Greens
what
and
you've
so
done
on.
today. I
Those
think it's an
guys felt that they were the bigger
achievement,
or the
and
biggest
you're not going
guys
to achieve
around.
anything without obstacles.
And
There are more
my
obstacles
team
to come, but they are greater
was
things.
going around that way,
So let
going
us
towards
pray. Father, we
Bobby's
thank
way.
you for today. We thank you that
Okay,
you
Reverend
place in the
Jarvis,
hearts
let's
of these younger men to be able to not just talk, but to act and to honor the generation that is before them. To celebrate those who have impacted their lives and touched their lives, and not just their lives, but this community and this nation and beyond. We thank you for this effort today. We pray your covering of your blood, of your spirit upon the group and also upon these efforts, particularly upon this wall and what it represents, that a generation is rising up to bless a generation before them. We pray, Lord, that that legacy may continue, that we may continue to look for people in this community who are touching lives, whether it's very public or private, to be able to say these people matter, that they have done significantly, not just for themselves, but for others. I pray today, Lord, that as we see this effort, that we will not just glory in it, but we will do the tangible things, like putting our hands in our pockets, like giving monies and giving talents and giving abilities and sitting in obscurity even to give suggestions to move this project forward, because there is more to do. So Lord, I pray that as we dedicate this thing today, that it will be dedicated not just for now, but for beyond now. And I pray, Lord, that your blessing may rest upon those who are involved in this activity, that what they have made possible for others will also become possible for them.
we spare a thought and a memory for those who are not here because their lives expired. We pray, Lord Jesus, that you will speak peace to their memory in our hearts. Thank you so much for those whose fingerprints are on our lives. And we pray that you help us to also ensure that our fingerprints end up on other people's lives, to draw them into a better place. We thank you, we bless you, we honor you, God. You are wonderful in all of your ways. As we continue in fellowship, be among us, knit our hearts together. There are many things that can separate us, but help us to understand the fact that we are from this community brings us together. I pray that even as we fellowship over whatever light refreshment it is, that you will bless us and bless us in Jesus' name.
Amen.
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 Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, just witness
Thank you everyone for coming. Before we all departure, for everyone that was nominated for Be on the Wall, we'd like to take a collective picture of everyone right
Okay,
in front
yes,
of
Reverend
you.
Jarvis,
Put
you
your name.
can continue. So your team was going closer to Buckley.
Yes, going around the corner. We call it the team from corner. Just corner. And we personally, we felt we were a good team. But I mean, there were other teams that used to beat us. Of course, we used to beat others too. But we used to have a real good camaraderie in the village, you know, and so on. And we supported each other. And for me, that was crucial, supporting one another. And of course, we have been and continue to be a very close religious community in Swetes. Believe me, all the churches work together.
Yeah, I did hear one of the speakers spoke about the belief, you know, in God, and you know they have that common fellowship,
yes,
which is critical to the success of any organization.
Everyone,
yes, truly, yeah,
that was nominated.
As I said, we supported each other. Not that we were going to leave our particular denomination,
Everyone that was nominated,
but we used to support one another. We go to each other's churches and so on, and we generally love each other. Of course, there were some persons who would definitely not come to your church for one reason or the other, you know, but we were very, very, very close together.
Was the Moravian church the dominant church in the area?
It was initially, because it was the first church that came into the community. But then when other churches came in, like the Wesleyan Holiness, and there's a church of God of Prophecy just across here,
Sweet Men for Life,
and the Roman Catholic Church.
We're going to take a collective picture.
Those are the
of you
main
too,
churches
so
in the village. In fact, I would dare to say the only churches in the village. There are other denominations that have tried to come in, but have not found any success, you know, and so on. So, but the Moravian Church is very strong. In fact, as I speak to you, there are about 7 of us as pastors coming out of this small church here.
True,
in the Moravian Church.
Yeah, it's true,
yeah,
true,
yeah,
yeah.
You know, so.
One of the impression I get with this community is that, you know, it was really well knitted together. There was a camaraderie, strong camaraderie among the villagers. You know, I've heard of the stories of the Lois on the galleries just looking over.
Yeah.
Somebody spoke about their mother would look to see if you had on your pants above your
Yes,
waist and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it seemed like the community was just a real community, the description of what a community should be.
True. And believe me, the teachers from the village itself, most of them taught at the Swetes primary school before the secondary school came. And we really respected them. And they cherished us. You know, for me, it's such a joy to see there are at least 3 teachers here who taught me at primary school.
For real?
Who are honored today.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you can see one across there, Millicent David, right across there in the blue and white
yes.
dress. Yeah, she was a tower of strength. And believe me, wherever I have gone as a pastor in Tobago, in Trinidad, now in the Virgin Islands, I've been in Antigua for 25 years, but I'm now in the Virgin Islands.
Okay.
I talk about the teachers who helped me because I couldn't be where I am without those teachers. And today I see them, they feel very proud of me, and I feel so good about them. Because in fact, if you heard one of my last sermons, I said they helped to drill some sense into this head that was so dunce, but I give God thanks because they helped me. They would organize, let's say, afternoon classes for free.
Sweet men,
just to make sure that we were able to excel. And for me, this is very, very important.
Let's go. Let's get a picture, guys.
Let me go back to the sporting history of
yes.
Swetes.
Awesome.
Was cricket, wasn't football a popular sport in the area because all the famous or good sportsmen that come out of Swetes and the Bertha area seem to be cricketers.
Yeah.
We're going to meet at the photo booth, guys.
Football came in as
sorry. We're meeting right here.
As a competitor to cricket. But football never quite made it to the heights that cricket made it. In fact, now I used to play a lot of cricket. I played with Enoch Lewis on the Swetes team. Enoch Lewis captain in the team. I have always been a pace bowler, but I love my batting. Believe me, I love my batting. But so cricket has been at the top of the list. And personally for me, maybe some people might not agree. Had it not been for me entering into the ministry,
Frankie, where's he going with this, Frankie? Where's he going with this, Frankie?
I believe I could have reached much further in cricket. I dare say some of what I see today, I think I could go way above that. Believe me. But Lewis was a good leader so far as cricket is concerned. And, I said I spent 25 years in Antigua. I left only in 2019 for the Virgin Islands. I came back and there were some real issues in the village because I was in Trinidad and Tobago for 12 years. And, a lot of marijuana and all sorts of crime taking place in the village. So I used to encourage the football team. Wherever the football team from Swetes was playing, I was there. Any afternoon. I was there in Bethesda when in First Division, in Willie Keys, Fort Road, Erlins, Jennings, English Harbor. Wherever they played, I was there encouraging and supporting them. And I used to be like one of the sideways sponsors of the team. Just to make sure that whatever they needed, I told them to let me know. And once I could help, I would always help. Just to encourage them. And so this group, the Swetes Men for Life, is seeking to do something which no other group had done before, trying to help to stem the crime and sort of help to encourage the younger guys, because a lot of them get into so much trouble, So I just hope that as we continue, even though I'm not here, look, I am in Swetes every day, even though I'm not here physically.
Well, as I say, can't separate the village from the man.
Definitely. And anywhere I've been, everybody know that I'm from Swetes. And I say to them, it's the sweetest part of Antigua.
Are any efforts being made by the Swetes for Life group to get into the schools, primary schools, for example, to get inculcating the youths from a very early age that spirit of community that seems to have left us in these times?
I believe eventually that will come because we no longer have a primary school in the village. It's the secondary school replaced our primary school, and they are already in the secondary school because they sponsor the pan side and sponsoring the football and the cricket team and so on. But if eventually, I believe that the group will branch out and assist other communities as well, which is important. Look, it's a tribute to see all these men. I don't know if you were here last night, but last night, man, the whole place was filled with men from Swetes who just came out to wanted to be a part of this whole thing, you know, and so as I say, I believe eventually the group will branch out to assist other communities, because what has happened now is that our children who are primary school age, they have been dispersed to different villages, to Buckleys, to Libertia, to Freeman's Village. So, you know, of course, we have to reach out to help them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Dr. Jarvis, I'd like to congratulate you on your honoring your award today, and the Swetes for Life community group as well. I think this is a very good initiative.
Right.
We're very pleased to see the strides they have made in a short time, and we wish you and the group much further success.
Thank you very much. And whatever support I can give, I will continue to give, you know, financially and otherwise, you know. So thank you very much.
All right, thanks a lot, Dr. Jarvis.
Blessings.
All right, my dears.
Blessings, yes.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Another son of the soil from another Sweetonian. Just to get it right. Oh, no, I thought he wanted to say something else.
No.
All right, so we just want to say thanks to Reverend Jarvis. We also had the president of the U.S. chapter and the secretary. And so, Frankie, one of the calls I'm glad to hear the president spoke about was the plexiglass.
Yes.
To preserve that.
Yeah.
Because we know somebody's going to be idle. Somebody's going to try and prove a point. And, you know, I'm hoping that they could preserve that. I was even saying to Clement, one of the things I would like to see the school do at the start of the school year or whatever, do a walk. Let the school walk through here.
Yes.
You must have some appreciation.
Much of appreciation for the history.
For the history, because
of
as we know, if you don't know where your history, you don't know
where you're going to. Sure. Yes.
All right, so I think we can. Oh, we're gonna have somebody else. Oh, you can just take it off. You can take it off. All right, so.
So yes, we are at the conclusion of.
Taddy, I think Taddy's trying to get somebody else. So let's see what's happening here. But Frankie, really good to see
the turnout, the enthusiasm and the passion that's been expressed from we saw the passionate address by the president there as he was appealing for help and acknowledging the stalwarts of the past. And this is the type of thing we need to see, especially in these times where our youths are going astray so easily and so in such large numbers. So it's great to see this effort from the community. And as Reverend Jarvis says, hopefully this community group can spread to other communities in Antigua and spread this kind of fellowship among island-wide.
And Frankie, that has to be what we're going to take out of this.
Yes.
It has to spread, and Parish League Network, we're happy to have played our role in bringing live coverage, spreading it across, and you can go back on our YouTube page or Facebook page, replay this.
Yes.
And so we just want to commend all the players in this game, the sponsors, as they said, yes. All our technicians, Clement, who was here before, he must be enjoying himself. So on behalf of all of us here, guys, we want to say thank you, have a good evening, and all the best from Swetes right here in Antigua.
Okay.